Let's dive right in by hooking into the sheer scale of our planet's movement. 1,670 kilometers per hour, that is the terrifying, absolute breakneck speed you are currently hurtling through space at if you're standing anywhere near the Earth's equator. And because it's a constant speed, you don't feel it at all. But make no mistake, it is happening right this very second. To put that into perspective for a second, that is significantly faster than a commercial jet plane cruising at altitude. This massive, continuous momentum is basically our daily baseline. It's this silent, invisible engine giving us our comforting, super predictable 24-hour day. Combine that steady spin with our planet's 23.5-degree tilt, and boom, it gifts us our changing seasons. It is literally the steady rhythm of all life on Earth.
So here is the crucial driver of our disaster: momentum. The laws of physics dictate that moving things really deeply want to keep moving. If the solid rocky ground of the Earth were to magically and suddenly just stop spinning, well, the atmosphere and the oceans absolutely do not get that memo. They aren't bolted down to the bedrock, right? So they would just keep going at their exact original speed.
And because the air keeps moving at that original speed while the ground stands totally still, we are suddenly hit with 1,670 km/h winds at the equator. Just to wrap your head around that catastrophic number, that is more than 5 times stronger than the absolute worst, most destructive hurricanes ever recorded on Earth. These supersonic winds would instantly scour the continents clean. We're talking flattening every forest, tearing apart every single human-made structure, and completely reshaping global coastlines in literally a matter of seconds. It's just an unimaginable initial blast.
So, assuming we somehow survive that, once the apocalyptic winds finally settle down, we face the creeping dread of our new reality. If Earth only orbited the sun without actually spinning on its own axis, it would take a full year for the sun to appear to move across the sky. This means one hemisphere gets trapped, just baking under 6 months of unbroken, relentless, scorching sunlight. Absolutely zero night to offer a cooling reprieve. And meanwhile, on the exact opposite side of the globe, that hemisphere is plunged into half a year of absolute, freezing, uninterrupted darkness.
Let's ground this extreme scenario by comparing these unlivable numbers to Earth's current records. Under 6 months of continuous sun, daytime highs are soaring to plus 120 degrees Celsius. For comparison, the hottest temperature ever reliably recorded on Earth is about 57 degrees in Death Valley. So this new reality is more than double that. It's literally hot enough to boil water right out of the oceans. Then, on the dark side, nighttime lows would plummet to an unthinkable minus 100 degrees Celsius, which is significantly colder than Antarctica's harshest, most punishing winters. It's extremely safe to say, regardless of which side you ended up on when the music stopped, you definitely packed the wrong clothes.
This massive geographic reshuffling starts with a feature of our planet we honestly rarely think about. Today, Earth is not a perfect sphere. It actually has a 43-kilometer equatorial bulge. Our normal, continuous spin acts exactly like a giant centrifuge. It physically flings land, and especially the liquid ocean water, slightly outward, and that creates a noticeable bulge right around the planet's midsection.
But take away that rotational spin, and we get this eerie, flipbook-like progression. Without that outward centrifugal push holding the water at the equator, simple gravity takes total, undeniable control. It just drains those equatorial waters away. The oceans would relentlessly flow downhill relative to the Earth's center of mass, migrating massively toward the North and South poles.
And this leaves us with a totally unrecognizable, bleak new map of our planet. Those receding equatorial waters would expose vast tracts of brand new land, all while completely drowning the northern and southern hemispheres. We'd be left with a massive, continuous, totally barren supercontinent just baking directly in the middle of the globe, capped by 2 giant, isolated mega-oceans at the poles. It's an unrecognizable Earth, driven entirely by the absence of that spinning momentum.
Now, as if the surface wasn't dramatic enough, let's shift our focus thousands of miles downward, deep inside the Earth's core. Because our planet's spin does a whole lot more than just give us sunrises and sunsets. The rotation physically stirs up a massive ocean of liquid molten iron in Earth's outer core. This constant churning acts like a colossal electrical dynamo, and that is exactly what generates the powerful, invisible magnetic field surrounding our planet. It's the very field that currently protects our satellites, our electrical grids, and, well, fundamentally, our DNA.
The really sobering, long-term reality here is that without the planet spinning, that internal dynamo slowly, inevitably fades out. And without our magnetic shield, harsh solar winds and intense cosmic radiation would just relentlessly bombard the planet. Over millions of years, this unshielded solar radiation would slowly strip our fragile atmosphere away entirely. Ultimately, it would turn our lush blue Earth into a dead, irradiated rock. Basically, a second Mars.
Amidst all this apocalyptic destruction, there is a tiny borderland where life might just cling on. Right in that thin, narrow rim between the boiling sun-facing hemisphere and the freezing dark hemisphere, there'd be a band of permanent, gentle twilight. In this eternal dusk, the sun would permanently sit right on the horizon. That means temperatures might just stay mild enough to maintain liquid water. Now humans, forests, complex ecosystems, yeah, they wouldn't stand a chance. But it is entirely possible that a few stubborn, incredibly hardy microbes might adapt to this narrow strip and stubbornly hang on in the shadows.
Okay, I think it's time we all take a collective deep breath. Here is the incredibly good news. This won't actually happen. Earth's rotation is incredibly, staggeringly stable. There is absolutely no known natural force in the universe capable of suddenly stopping a planet that's been reliably spinning for over 4.5 billion years. So you can definitely sleep soundly tonight, knowing the ground won't suddenly screech to a halt.
However, just to clarify the real science for a second, our spin is technically slowing down. The moon's gravity gently but persistently drags at Earth's oceans. That creates tidal friction acting like an incredibly weak brake, stretching our days out. But it is happening at a hilariously, imperceptibly slow pace of about 2 milliseconds every single century. So while it's technically true, we will never, ever feel it, and you certainly don't need to go adjusting your calendars.